Alright, hi everyone, welcome to the stream. Good evening, I hope you're all feeling good today. I'm feeling alright myself. Went out a bit today with Deej, just hanging out for a little bit, because, I haven't really done much of that over the past year, just because, lockdown and stuff. But recently Glasgow has, yep, there is DJ Bruce in the chat, or Deej Bruce. I'm not sure if the J is pronounced J in when you say that, or if it's Deej Bruce, but either way. Was hanging out with him today. We were spending some time chatting, just doing whatever. It was fun. It was roasting. It was really hot outside, but kind of took my mind off it a little bit just by hanging out with him. It's always fun to socialize what little you can get in these days, in these trying times that we're currently living in. But yeah, Glasgow has gone back down to tier 2, and I'll be getting my vaccination this weekend. I'll talk about that later on. I'm not going to talk about that during the E3 stuff. Maybe during Rogue Heroes I'll bring that up. But yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to do two Nintendo E3 things again. We're going to be doing 2008 and then 2009. I think I'm going to approach the same way I did the last time I streamed. I think I'm going to do the 2008 one first, and then we'll do the Rogue Heroes, and then we'll do 2009, because I think that's like a better way to kind of space this out. So yeah, let's get into it. So I think 2008's conference is the one. I don't remember the guy's name, but that guy that was on stage like trying to play the drums or something on Wii Music. I think this is that one. Like, I thought it was 2007, but clearly that was not the one. I think this is the one where they show off Wii Music and that guy on stage just like doing drum solos and shit, and it just looks really fucking weird. It's like an experience. You have to see it to believe it. So yeah, this conference, like some of the recent ones, is about an hour long, 1 hour and 4 minutes. So yeah, let's get started. Also, this is the first one of the conferences we've been watching that's in 16:9, so I don't really need the blurry bits on the side anymore. Also, I think this is where Nintendo continues to go in that direction of like catering to the more casual crowds. Again, Wii Music and whatnot. Also, IGN.com, yeah, my favourite website. I mean, the way they've got this music and all these like happy smiling people, if they were not holding Wii remotes and Nintendo DSs, you wouldn't fucking think this was a way to open a press conference for an E3 show. But this seems like one of those, like, commercials for, like, self-improvement or whatever. Like, it doesn't feel like a media briefing opening. Yeah, look at all them smiling faces. I don't remember if they open with Reggie in this one. I think they do. Like, most of these conferences we're going to be watching opens with Reggie. I mean, I'll take this over that one time that Bethesda did this, like, video with, like, the various, like, workers, like, the game developers being like, oh, look at me, I'm so happy, like, we're like a family, we're wholesome. Like, I'll take this over that, I guess, but yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Executive Vice President of Sales and Marketing for Nintendo of America, Cammie Dunaway.
Oh, that's not Reggie they're opening with? Okay.
Good morning.
Oh god, I remember her.
My name is not Reggie.
Like, I remember, like, nice joke there. I remember this woman. She looks kind of like I don't know, like a soccer mum kind of person. I don't know. She does not. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain, but she's got this vibe about her that, like, rubs me the wrong way. I think she only worked at Nintendo for a couple years. Like, I don't think she worked for more than like 2 or 3 years at her position. What was it, like sales and marketing or something they just said?
But these days, I do have a lot in common with my boss. We're both having a lot of fun. I mean, how can you not be happy when your job every day is to get up and think about video games? In fact, just like the people you saw in the opening video, I can't stop smiling.
Again, audio crusting will happen throughout the video. I can't really fix that.
Now, of course, as a mom, it helps to be at a company like Nintendo.
The way her eyes, I'm sorry to pause again, but the way her eyes like kind of bulge out in certain moments, like you could probably pause this video in like several moments and she'll just look like a crazed lunatic.
As my son Davis said in my Mother's Day card this year, Mom, I love you more than anything. And not just because you bring me all the video games. Now, how could that not put a smile on my face? I can also testify that playing video games is probably a safer way to impress your kids than some other things I've tried. Now, for example, here I am at Whistler this winter trying out snowboarding. And I thought that that made me a...
Did my stream die? Sorry, OBS kind of hit 0 kilobits there. Did my stream shit the bed? Because according to OBS, that's what happened. Oh, okay, I think it went back on again. Not sure what just happened there, but I'm going to continue. I'm going to assume... Hang on a second. Yeah, I'm gonna assume we're fine now.
Really cool mom. At least until the last run of the day.
Oh, hey there, Dee.
When through
Welcome to the
some
stream.
absolutely freak occurrence, certainly nothing to do with my lack of coordination, the fates pushed me right off my board and I landed with full body weight right on my left wrist. Short story, the ground won, my wrist lost. And I can tell you, it is one long ride down the mountain when you're being pulled by the ski patrol. What I discovered that day is that snowboarding is really a lot harder than it looks. But the fact is, I don't like a smile taken off my face for anything. And I also really don't like giving up. So, I decided that as a snowboarder, all I really needed was a little help from a friend, a really talented friend. And I'm smiling again today because I think I've found the perfect answer.
Oh. Did he really fucking pause the Wii there in the middle of that demonstration? Sean White. Apparently he has to snowboarding what Tony Hawk has to skateboarding. I wouldn't know this, but...
I'll make the next one.
Also, you might notice the audio sounds a bit weird. Again, I think it's like whoever uploaded this to YouTube may have edited the audio so it passes the content claim checks. So, if you're wondering where the music and stuff is, that's probably the reason why it's not there. He does kind of look like Carrot Top, actually.
Help me in welcoming the gold medalist in the men's halfpipe at the 2006 Torino Olympics, Mr. Sean White.
But I've never even heard of Sean White outside of this game.
Sean, it looked like you were having a blast.
Yeah,
Sorry
I'm
about
having
that
fun.
fall.
I know. I was warming up.
Oh, okay. Now, I understand from the guys at Ubi that they developed this game from the ground up to really take advantage of the new balance board from Wii.
Well,
How'd it
yeah,
feel?
I mean, you know, once we put the board involved, it just enhances the gameplay. I mean, for me, it's so unbelievable because when I'm actually on my snowboard, I lean forward to go faster.
Yeah.
And just like on the game, you go fast when you tuck and all your spins, and it's really cool.
Oh, it looks great.
Yeah.
Now, what other kind of input did you give the team to really capture snowboarding?
I mean, a lot of the stuff for me was just kind of describing what it's like for me. Because when I'm up in the air, I see a totally different view than everybody else gets to see. So I had that input and just overall how the mountain should look, and it was really fun.
Well, I've also been told that pretty much anybody can just jump on the board and
Yeah,
go.
I
I don't know if you heard my opening, but
I heard.
I'd love to give it a try.
You could bring it on. All
All
right.
right. I mean, how many times in my life am I going to be able to get pointers
Oh, you're
from
on.
Sean White?
I'll give you some tips.
Okay, let's see. Let's get my board going here.
Can we get Reggie on the stage, please? I kind of feel like we need someone to kick ass and take names.
Calibrate.
Okay, yep.
I think this.
What event should we try, do you think?
Let's do the half pipe.
Oh, man, that's your
Okay.
event, right? I've never done this.
Oh, you are me right now.
Okay. Oh, I'm you. Okay, I'll try to do so.
All right. There you go. That's a mess.
I mean, assuming the drummer guy from that Wii Music portion of the presentation is in this, I know that's still, we're not quite there yet, but I'm already feeling the fucking cringe aura coming from this woman. Holy fuck.
I mean, just the view from the camera. They're so cool.
Look at me. I'm playing
Maybe
video
look good.
games.
All right.
Wee.
Woo!
I should get some lessons from you.
Don't think I need a close-up of the feet, please. No!
Oh, you got it. There you go. Just aim down the wall. There you go. See, the more you go down the wall, the faster you go, and the bigger you go out. It's just
Like, at
being
least
alive.
put on socks or something. I don't need to see the feet.
Yeah, that was tasty.
Yeah. Is that you?
Hell yeah. Nice run.
That's
all
how
right.
it's done.
All right. Woo!
Yeah.
That's not bad. 1,000 points.
Oh, what happened to the
I
audio?
didn't hurt my wrist. Well, Sean, thank
Again,
you so
whoever
much. It was great
uploaded this
fun.
to
Really
YouTube, like I
appreciate you
downloaded
being
it
here.
earlier.
See you guys.
I think they're just making audio edits. So, I mean, the silver lining with that is that I don't have to edit it afterward if I want to upload this to YouTube. So I guess there's that.
Now, all of you can have as much fun as I just had making your own runs down when this game arrives exclusively for Wii by year end. Now, if everyone would please welcome me in joining Nintendo's global president, Mr. Satoru Iwata.
I mean, it's not Reggie, but I'll take him as well. I'll take Iwata, gladly.
Thank you, Cami and Sean. And good morning. I think everyone recognizes that a big change, actually a true paradigm shift, has taken place in the global game market. 5 years ago, in May 2003, I addressed E3 for the first time as the president of Nintendo. I still vividly recall that day. Because I knew almost everyone attending held a pessimistic view about Nintendo's future. That period was not enjoyable, but I knew that people were just using what seems to be a common sense view of the video game market. I must admit that even Nintendo employees could not have imagined that 5 years later, the market would have responded so quickly that we could be selling millions of bathroom scales around the world.
Bathroom skills. I mean, at least they're self-aware. I don't miss the days of sports games trying to force motion controls. Looking at you, Tony Hawk. Yeah. I think I mentioned this when we were watching the last E3 press conference thing, but there was a skate game that was made specifically for the Wii, and it had Wii Fit balance board support on it.
When a true paradigm shift occurs,
Hi there, MSP.
common sense doesn't seem to make as much sense anymore. And I believe that's what happened in video games. Today, I'd like to spend a few minutes to discuss what has really changed in this new paradigm. First, we are now selling games which can sell steadily for a long period of time. In the past, it seemed impossible to expect any software to sell for 2 years or 3 years. But titles like Nintendo's and Brain Age are doing just that. Also, New Super Mario Bros. And Mario Kart DS. To use a Western term, these products seem to be evergreens. This, I think, is a really big change. Second, I believe it is no longer common sense that players only seek new titles with more gorgeous-looking graphics and more sophisticated content. Of course, I myself am aware that great numbers of game players around the world do demand increasingly gorgeous games. And we at Nintendo continue to challenge ourselves to meet these needs. Today, I want to let you know that our internal team, which creates Mario games, and the one that make Zelda games, are both hard at work. They will bring new titles to Wii. On the other hand, it is also true that games with new concepts like Wii Sports and Wii Fit have received support from many customers for entirely different reasons. Small teams with small budgets can capture a worldwide audience if they have a great idea.
I know I don't talk much when, like Iwata is like giving his presentation / speech thing. Like, part of me doesn't want to be too snarky about this guy because I do genuinely respect him as a game developer and like a figurehead of like Nintendo. Like, I think he actually has done a lot for the industry, and I don't want to like shit on the things he's saying too much. So if there's just like big spaces of just me not saying anything, that's kind of why.
And this is both the challenge and the opportunity of WiiWare. Third, certainly the user base has expanded. Take a look at this picture.
Please take a look.
Or what about this one? Before, our common sense view of the video game market was too limited. Now we have learned that intuitive interface can help attract those who never considered video games before.
Why does the balance board remind you of a Wii game called Big Beach Sports? I've never heard of that game.
And audience expansion brings a related effect. It has changed the seasonal nature of video game hardware sales. Game systems used to be purchased more often as a gift item during the holidays. Today, game hardware systems are more likely purchased by people for themselves at any time of the year. Recently in Europe, consumers are buying more than 200,000 Nintendo DS units a week, as if every week were a holiday week. Here in America, players have bought an average of 700,000 Wii systems over the last 3 months, a level typically not seen outside of November and December. Finally, in a very unexpected way, we are seeing a new form of social interaction developing. Last year, I said that we would like to destroy the psychological barriers that exist between gamers and non-gamers. Wii Sports and Wii Play showed this was possible, but alone they were not enough to prove general trend. Mario Kart Wii and Wii Fit created more of these conversations. But maybe the strongest evidence comes with Guitar Hero 3. While it is available on many platforms, the Wii version is outselling all others. At Nintendo, we believe there is progress being made in destroying the psychological barrier. But now, with a new paradigm, what can we expect next? Even if it is revolutionary, sooner or later, people will become tired of a new form of entertainment. This happens faster when others try to reproduce the initial change.
Was he throwing shade at the Sony Move controllers for PlayStation 3?
Then, what seemed fresh inevitably will be lost.
Like, did the Move controllers come out in 2008? Because I don't remember.
For all of us in the video game industry, there is danger in standing still. Common sense is not enough, but there are answers. Personally, I believe we must find more ways for players to feel engaged, different ways for them to be enriched, even with interactions we would not call games. And most of all, the overall experience from our products must be increased enthusiasm. Unfortunately, all this is much easier to say than do. So, let me conclude by saying that we at Nintendo always challenge ourselves to be pioneer in forming new paradigms. We seek fresh surprises, and I hope you will enjoy the ones we have for you today. The first one fits with a larger social trend we all see, with consumers acting as creators and then sharing their work. Certainly, we are not the only ones to think along these lines. But we believe Nintendo can add something different, engage players in new ways. So, thank you for your attention this morning, and please take a moment to consider how Mr. Katsuya Eguchi is bringing creativity and community together in a key holiday release. Thank you.
I'm not sure what game he was like teasing there, but alright.
I became a game designer because ever
Oh, is
since
this
I
Animal
was
Crossing?
a child, I loved playing video games.
Yeah, Animal Crossing
As far
City
as how I
Folk.
came up with the idea for Animal Crossing, what I thought was to create a field where the players could communicate with each other. I wanted to create a software where players could feel like they are playing together, even if they are playing at different times.
Fun fact to this, the subtitle for this in Europe was called Let's Go to the City. Doesn't roll off the tongue as well as City Folk.
The town is where you live and do the things you like. There are no required goals, and the players are free to do things their own way.
Like, I know that the art style is supposed to be simplistic and stuff, but this just looks like the GameCube game, to be honest.
I think the players really feel like the world is happening
If you want to get technical, it looks like the Nintendo 64 game.
in real time. Even when you are not playing the game, the animals in the world of Animal Crossing get up in the morning and then go to bed at night. So you could really feel like you are visiting a realistic world with a 24-hour clock year-round.
ウィー版から
the city is a brand new place to explore in the Wii version of Animal Crossing.
Didn't the Wii version of Animal Crossing have like a big speaker thing that you put on top of your TV?
Of course, you can also
like it was for voice chatting and stuff. I think it was called Wii Speak or something like that.
There is a Happy Room Academy where you can find out what other players are doing. You can visit the famous fashion designer Gracie at her store. You can also go to Harriet's beauty salon, where you can change your hairstyle, or even choose to put on a mask and look like you're me. Of course, the key to Animal Crossing is communication, and there are some exciting advances. For one thing, you can write letters to other players and attach pictures to them. You can send them not just to other towns, but to the Wii message board, or to friends' cell phones and personal computers. But the biggest news is a special new microphone option called
there it is.
It's not a singular headset, but a community microphone that lets every person in a room talk with another room for players anywhere in the world.
Hey guys. Hello. Hey guys, what's up?
For example,
yeah, that accessory was barely fucking used outside of this game.
Contest.
You guys are in major trouble.
Yeah, I think I had the Wii Speak as well, but I didn't really use it that much.
Oh man, I'm out of practice.
I didn't know you were practicing.
Oh, this is terrible.
Waiting for it to bite. Waiting.
Don't you love that gamer voice thing that's going on right now? Like they're pretending to like voice chat to each other. It's like, wow, I can't do this.
Waiting.
Got it. Oh, that one's mine.
You can really get a sense of the personality of the player. For example, when you go to someone's town, you can see how they decorate their room, or if it is neat or messy. It's also fun to see how they have set up their town, because it tells you what kind of person they are, and I think that's really fun. It makes me happy to hear stories of people who are able to talk with their friends, or even able to make new ones.
You never heard of or seen that accessory, but we didn't have Animal Crossing on Wii. Oh, I see. Yeah, like I said, Wii Speak wasn't really used that much outside of Animal Crossing. I think realistically, only a handful of Wii games really used it.
To be able to communicate with others in a variety of ways, and to share the world they have created.
Like, to put it in perspective, consider how few games the Wii Fit Balance Board supports. I think there was even less games that supported the Wii Speak, like that's how little we're talking about here.
And to have a place where the players can connect with each other.
So yeah, I didn't really play much of City Folk. Like, Animal Crossing on GameCube was my first Animal Crossing, and every subsequent Animal Crossing since then didn't quite hook me in like the first one did. Like Wild World and City Folk, I didn't really play much of those two. But then New Horizons came out and I played the fuck out of that game. That game was pretty good.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the President and Chief Operating Officer for Nintendo of America.
Oh, here we go.
Reggie Fils-Aimé.
Finally. We're about 22 minutes in, by the way, and finally Reggie shows his face.
Good morning. When I last talked to you from an E3 stage, I closed by saying that we at Nintendo were pleased, but not close to being satisfied. With Animal Crossing on its way to Wii by the end of this year, complete with the Wii Speak option, of course we're pleased. And in a larger sense, we're even more pleased with our marketplace momentum. After all, in May, according to the NPD data, lifetime sales in the US for Wii hardware reached 10 million systems. DS surpassed 20 million. And the sales of these two game devices alone now combine to represent more than $5 billion at retail just in the US. But despite all this, we're no closer to being satisfied. That's because there are still tens of millions of people around the world ready to get into the game that we all love. And at the same time, there are millions of us veteran gamers hungry for what's next. At Nintendo, we want to fill both those needs. Let me begin with a little marketplace perspective, and I promise I'll keep this short. Here are lifetime global hardware unit sales for the last iteration of each major platform. The biggest bar belongs to Nintendo DS. By the end of our current fiscal year, next March, we expect that total DS worldwide sales will grow to almost 100 million systems. Focusing on DS here in America, annual sales have ramped up each year. Now, some people still cling to previous expectations for product cycles, and consequently thought that 2007 would be the peak year for DS. However, it still represents better than 2 out of every 3 handhelds sold here in America. And so far, in 2008, DS sales here in the US are running another 12% ahead of last year's record. Hardware sales are always driven by key software franchises. And this spring, that key franchise was Pokemon.
I've got a quick question about the DS, actually. Is the DS the best-selling... Like, when I say DS, I mean DS, regular DS, DS Lite, and DSi, like the DS family of systems. Is that the best-selling portable that Nintendo's ever done? Or is it the 3DS or, like, an older Game Boy model? Like, I don't know. Does anybody know that?
Sales of the companion Mystery Dungeon series sold through more than 600,000 copies in just 6 weeks. This grows lifetime total sales for all Pokemon titles to 180 million.
Are you including or excluding the Switch? Dedicated portable platforms, not hybrids.
The arrival of games like Pokemon Mystery Dungeon and Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games have pushed total DS software sales in America 29% ahead of last year.
What about the Switch Lite? Yeah, we're kind of splitting hairs at that point.
Now, later this week, we believe the June NPD data may show that the back and forth battle between Wii and DS as America's best-selling game system may have shifted for the moment back to DS. In no small part, it's due to those evergreen titles Mr. Iwata mentioned. We began running a TV campaign in May targeting females, featuring celebrity endorsements. Within weeks, unit sales for titles like the Brain Age games, Nintendogs, Super Mario Bros. At least doubled. To repeat, there seems to be an unlimited number of people out there just looking for a way to get into our game. For Wii, the sales trajectory is climbing even steeper. This chart shows comparative system sales. The blue bars represent the first 12 months in the market, and the yellow bars represent sales from year 1 through month 19. It's here, beyond the realm of the early adopters, where Wii demonstrates how its historic sales pace is actually increasing. When those June NPD numbers are released on Thursday, we will not be surprised if Wii becomes the best-selling console in this generation in America. just as it already has on a worldwide basis. Now, you all know about the popularity of Wii hardware, but perhaps...
Sorry, let me read that real quick. Sorry, I lost my place. It was the DS with 154.202 million units. Yeah, that's a lot. I'm not sure what the second best portable system is. I would assume the 3DS.
Perhaps not as widely appreciated is the story for Wii software. It's exactly the same.
Either the 3DS or the original Game Boy, I would say.
Again, no system has ever sold more games during its first
Game Boy
19
and Game Boy
months of
Color.
availability. And again, the sales advantage after year one continues to grow. It's no secret that Nintendo internally approached game development for Wii on two different fronts. On one hand, we made sure we leveraged our well-known stable of stars early in the generation to satisfy and reassure veteran gamers. But at the same time, we also created new titles, beginning with Wii Sports and continuing with Wii Fit, that made even confirmed non-gamers stand up and take notice. But now a new dynamic is emerging. Having passed a year and a half in the market, our creative third-party partners are finding success with Wii. To date, 19 different third-party games on Wii have exceeded sales of 400,000 units in America alone. And those titles come from 11 different publishers. The wonderful thing about this trend is that there are almost as many strategies on how to attack Wii development as there are different developers and publishers making those decisions. For example, you might ask if this is the platform that will be dominated by new kinds of casual games. Or is this the place to use the unique forms of Wii interface to freshen up even the most legendary IP? Or is this the ideal spot for new franchises with obvious core appeal that set new standards for a genre? Well, the correct answer is all of the above. The Wii library continues to grow far faster than other current consoles, and there'll be dozens and dozens of new titles arriving in the coming months. The truth is, there's no way today we can give you even a quick glimpse of everything that's on its way. So instead, we've chosen to limit our preview to just 3 new games that take very different approaches to the interface options available on Wii.
By the way, we're already 30 minutes into this, and it's like an hour and 4 minutes. They've barely talked about any game reveals. What have we got? We got Shaun White snowboarding. We got Animal Crossing. Is that it? Is that all is done in 30 minutes?
Take a look.
But yeah, here's some other games now. Apparently, which ones do we have? Star Wars: The Clone Wars.
Skywalker is the Republic's only hope.
I've never watched The Clone Wars, so I don't really have to say much about that. I hope I don't get content claim for this music. Disney, please don't kill. Oh yeah, that's right, Disney didn't own Star Wars back in these days, but yeah, you know, they own it now. When did Disney buy Lucas again? It was like mid-2010s? Raymond Rabbids again. You know, given that the Rabbids completely took over, and I'm surprised that they're still using the Rayman branding. Like, they should have just called it Raving Rabbids at this point. Do you guys think, like, since we're on the subject of Raving Rabbids, do you guys think we're going to get Mario and Rabbids 2 at E3 this year? Because there's been some rumblings that some people think that might be happening. Oh yeah, I forgot there was a Call of Duty game on the Wii. There was a couple Call of Duty games on the Wii, actually. Like, for some reason, they ported Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, the original Modern Warfare, not the one from a couple years ago, to the Wii. Like, I had that game. The Wii Zapper. Fucking... I didn't know you could use the Wii Zapper with this game. Like, how would that even work? Is Call of Duty World at War any good? Because I haven't played that Call of Duty. Like, I've only played a handful of COD games in my time.
As you can see, Wii creativity is mushrooming.
Oh god,
but
it's her
that's
again.
only half of our software story here at E3. What we've just seen are games that reside in your living room. But what about the games that travel with you? Every year, portable games take a bigger bite of the total software pie. What's driving this growth are new players. Who are they? Well, here's a giant clue. In 2005, 30% of all DS recipients were female. Now, recipients are defined as those who either bought a DS for themselves or asked for and received one as a gift. By 2006, the percentage of female players jumped to 46%. And last year, it almost reached exact parity with males. The DS appeal is universal. And that appeal is apparent with our third-party hits as well. Activision reports that the current DS version of Guitar Hero on Tour sold 300,000 copies in America in just its first week.
By the way, I'm just going to point this out real quick. This has nothing to do with what we're watching right now, but it's just so you guys know. I do try to read every single message, but I'm not going to read them out aloud. But yeah, I read what you said there about Rabbids Go Home. It sounds interesting, but I've never touched that game.
And now, an even more imaginative interpretation of the franchise called On Tour Decades.
Oh, is this the one that has like the
way.
little keypad that plugs into the GBA
The
slot?
DS is also the only gaming dedicated platform where you'll find Will Wright's Spore this year. We think both of these titles deserve a closer look.
So this fall, we're going to be bringing Guitar Hero on Tour
Only
Decades,
4 buttons.
and with
Yeah,
it,
I think I
brand
remember
new
that.
innovation to the platform. For the first time, players will be able to song share between versions.
Oh yeah,
of the
there you
game.
go. There's
Song
4.
sharing is
There's
a
4
feature
spaces.
that allows me to
Looks
take
weird.
my version of Guitar Hero on tour and meet up with a friend or a relative who has a different version of Guitar Hero on tour, like Guitar Hero on Tour Decades, and we can share our songs with each other.
The innovation of the guitar grip, really allowed us to bring a tactile experience coupled.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw that
really-
there. Like, there it is there. There's the accessory that plugs into the GBA
It
slot.
allowed us to bring a tactile experience coupled with the touchscreen mechanics of strumming. with a pick stylus.
But additionally, the DS has the microphone, the dual screen, its portable nature. All of these aspects add to the unique experience that you get on the Nintendo DS.
Spore is this epic journey, and it's all about sort of evolving your creature in this world that you live on. Now, with the Nintendo version of the game, it is a unique and different design. We focused more on the creature game for the Nintendo DS. One of the things that was important to us when we designed the game for the Nintendo DS was to really hit on those core elements that are really about Spore, which is player creativity and that sharing. With the Nintendo DS, not only were we able to sort of take advantage of the stylus, so we could create this creature creator that's so easy and intuitive to use. You just drag parts from the parts panel over onto your creature and add to it. The other thing about Spore that on the PC that we moved over to the DS was the ability to share your creations. When you share your creatures with your friends, those creatures not only appear in your zoo, but they can also show up in the game. You can decide to befriend them with your own creature. So you kind of get your own little posse going with your friends' creatures, and it can really help you out in gameplay. The DS is really attractive for game designers and game makers because it gave the opportunity to open up and sort of say, hey, we can design a little bit differently. This audience is really responding to it.
Like, when I think of, like, sharing your creatures with, like, other players, I'm just thinking of, like, sharing, like, giant dick creatures and stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, statistically speaking, that has to have happened at least once somewhere in the world.
Now, in addition to these great exclusives, I can add one more piece of launch news. The next invasion of Pokemon, the highly anticipated Pokemon Rangers Shadows of Almia, will offload onto US shores on November the 10th.
Is this the game where you grab the stylus and you, like, violently circle around the DS screen until your DS screen is, like, fucking just raw with, like, you know, scratch marks? Like, I think this is that game, is it not?
To recap, another new Guitar Hero coming to DS, a custom Spore coming to DS, and new Pokemon 2. And make no mistake, the appeal of DS extends to the core as well. We can announce today that a custom version of Grand Theft Auto called Chinatown Wars arrives on DS this winter.
This game was pretty good, actually. I had that game on the DS.
Set in a modern-day Liberty City, the game features a custom game engine, new characters, and the same free-ranging gameplay that GTA fans have come to expect. For some time now, Nintendo and our third-party partners have been using the DS to redefine the meaning of video game.
Back when Rockstar actually gave a shit about the GTA series, haha, yeah, pretty much.
And that spirit of invention and reinvention now also applies to the DS itself. Here's what I mean. Now, I'm one of the many people, probably like all you guys, who spend way too much time in airports. And much of that time is already spent on my DS. Currently, I'm playing Animal Crossing. So, what if DS and air travel came together in a different way? For example, when I land, why can't my DS provide information on where I can claim my luggage or the gate for my connecting flight? If I'm staying over, what about the nearest ATM or a Mexican restaurant? This is all being tested. Another example. How about changing up your next visit to the old ballpark? Well, at Safeco Field in Seattle, fans are already using their DS to check the box scores of other live games, watch highlights, compete on trivia contests with other fans in the park. They're even using the DS touchscreen to order up that Seattle sushi favorite, the Ichi roll.
One thing I remember about the DS in general was they were trying to, like, basically give you, like, abilities to, like, use the DS in, like, all sorts of places. Like, for example, you could use the DS in the Louvre, which is, like, a French museum of, like, art gallery stuff. Like at one point you could like take your DS there and you would like get interactive like tours or stuff, something like that.
Seriously, they really have that stuff in Seattle. Now, speaking of food, one more idea. Could it be that the DS could even earn a spot in your kitchen? Well, for some time now, in Japan, Cooking Navi has turned the DS into an electronic cookbook. And the same title will serve up both international recipes and cooking tips when an English version arrives here in November. The perfect timing for people like me looking for help with their holiday dinners. Trust me, I'm even worse at cooking than I am at snowboarding. Now,
I could have sworn I saw one frame in there that would be like perfect thumbnail
I'm even
material.
worse at cooking than
Let me
I
see
am
if I
at
can.
snowboarding. Now, I'm even worse at
Let me see if I can get
cooking
this
than I-
frame. Like that frame right there. That frame right there. That's like that could potentially be thumbnail material for this like VOD when I upload this later.
I am at snowboarding. Now, in many ways, the DS may be transforming itself from a great portable device for gamers into a natural companion for everyone. Reggie?
Cami just talked about looking at something very familiar, the Nintendo DS, with a fresh set of eyes. Let me build on that idea, literally. We all know what this is, and as you may have heard, we're about to redefine the Wii Remote thanks to this.
Oh, it's the Wii Motion Plus.
What this small accessory does is make the Wii Remote more precise, more responsive, more intense.
In other words, it makes what it should have been to begin with.
It's called Wii Motion Plus. Wii Motion Plus renders every slight shift of your wrist or arm into the gameplay. But as every game player knows, technical advances can be empty promises without outstanding software.
Also, I like how they didn't even bother to like make a proper letter M. They just took the W and flipped it upside down.
So today, we're going to show you how this worthy successor to the Wii Remote comes to life using a more than worthy successor to Wii Sports. Let me introduce you to Wii Sports Resort, which is literally a day at the beach. It generates fun in the sun with a variety of activities, and we're going to show you 3 of them right now on stage.
My favourite Wii Sports Resort game was the one with the, what do you call them, like the plastic swords that you like swing about. Like that was probably the best game that made use of the Wii Motion Plus technology.
While I have Cami come out here along with Bill Trinan from our Treehouse group to explain the action, I can tell you that there will be one Wii Motion Plus accessory and extended jacket packaged with every Wii Sports Resort. And of course, others will be available separately. So Cami, what have you got?
Okay, Reggie, I have got probably the cutest game that you have ever seen. Meet my little puppy here, Peach, and we are going to play Disc Dog together.
All right, now before you do anything, Cami, I think what we need to do is let everybody understand here what Wii Motion Plus is all about. Now, if you guys are anything like me, you
Well, hey there, Nikki. Welcome to the stream.
probably remember the very first time you got your hands on the Wii Remote, and that, for me, was a magical moment. And I want you all to prepare yourselves to experience that same thrill again here at E3 this year. Now, you'll notice that as Cami is subtly rotating her wrist, that precise action is being reflected on screen in real time at the exact angles that she is moving. And
I like how, like, I don't know if Nintendo were self-aware of this, but in them, like, being like, oh, look, it's like real-life motions now. It's, like, almost one-to-one. Like, in them doing this, they're, like, actively admitting that the Wii, in its original form, didn't really have that much motion controls compared to the marketing. Like, because the marketing made it look like, oh, you can, like, play tennis just like real life, but then you realize, oh, you just do a very specific like gesture to like do a very specific action. So yeah, like in them like advertising or like like sort of like demonstrating this, they're basically just admitting that the original Wii technology wasn't quite up to what I guess a lot of people imagined the original Wii technology was supposed to be like.
As she moves her hand in front of her in space, it knows exactly where her hand is. That's what Wii Motion Plus does. Okay, Cammy, you don't even have to press a button.
Okay.
Just swing your arm to throw the disc.
Okay, Peach, you ready?
And we'll see how your puppet
Okay, let's
responds.
go, girl. Let me do a little, line it up. I was never very good at this. And, up. Oh, go, go. Oh, no. Oh, okay.
Now remember, Cammy, you want to
See,
pay
it's so
attention to that tilt
precise
when
that
you're
it's
throwing.
picking up my bad wrist action. Okay, let's try this again.
Is that the good
Okay.
wrist or the broken wrist?
Well, it's... Unfortunately, it was the good one. Okay. Oh, go, girl, go! Yes!
Very nice.
Oh, Reggie, you gotta admit, is that the most adorable game you've ever seen?
It's kind of cute. It's kind of okay. But I want to show the group something that's a little bit more my speed.
All right.
Before we do that, what did you do today? Spence, I mentioned at the top of the stream, I was spending some time with Deej Bruce. We were hanging out, just chatting and whatnot. That's what I did today. Very fucking hot outside though, and it still kind of feels warm right now, even at night time.
Now, this is what I'm talking about. Look at this.
Wow.
Oh.
When do you guys think we'll get a new Wave Race game? Because I know a lot of people are like, oh, bring back F-Zero, but I kind of like Wave Race as well. Like, Wave Race Blue Storm, amazing game.
You really like that throttle, don't you, Red?
This is the closest we've got to a Wave Race game since then.
Oh.
Oh, yes. Oh!
Uh-oh, don't miss one.
Oh, back on the course.
Watch out for the roller.
See, when I get
Well, I
that
guess you're
Nintendo
right, Reggie,
64
that really is more your
HDMI kit,
speed.
I'm going to stream Wave Race.
Guys like power stuff, you know?
Oh, you guys, I like the puppy.
Come on. I think the crowd is going to like being on a
Hey there, Pixel.
power cruiser a lot more than throwing discs to a
You
dog.
guys are all the same.
Well,
Thank you very much for the
obviously,
host.
we've got a little dispute here that I think needs some settling. And I think there's no better way to do that than with a little old-fashioned sword dueling. What do you say?
Hey,
let's
I'm
go
up
for it.
Bring
All
it
right.
on. Bring it on.
I'll show you what you'll be doing, okay? All right, let me get started here. Now you hold the Wii remote with both hands, right? Of course, you can chop vertically. Okay? You can chop horizontally. You can chop at any angle you want. And in fact, you can block. And all of that is reflected in real time. And if you're really good, you can sharpen the pencil as well. Okay?
This looks more my speed
I
too,
am
I
so
think.
ready. How often do you get to do this with your boss?
Yeah,
Wait
this
a
was
minute,
like my favorite
okay.
game,
Okay.
like
I gotta get
mini
ready.
game
There you
in
go.
Wii Sports
Give me a
Resort.
minute.
You ready, Cammy?
I am so ready.
So now let's see who the true master is.
What was this game mode called again?
That was too quick.
That's why they call me the Reginator.
Oh. Now, if I just had both wrists working,
You want to go again?
let's go again.
You want a little more?
Bring it on, baby.
It's called Bash Your Friends in the Head. Oh yeah, classic game. Oh, there goes Reggie.
Well, it looks like with one match each, we've got a bit of a draw, so we're going to have to let everybody decide which one they prefer on the show floor.
All right.
We may
That
have
was a
just
lot
seen the
fun.
birth of the Caminator. I don't know. You know, what we've shown you today is just a small taste of Wii Sports Resort. If you stop to consider a summer vacation, other activities come to mind, and several of them will appear in Wii Sports Resort. But Wii Motion Plus represents a much broader opportunity. It's clear that many developers specializing in virtually every game genre are right now contemplating how to use Wii Motion Plus to further drive player immersion. Obviously, that won't happen instantly. But when the world's best game creators have the chance to work for a while with this new standard in one-to-one motion control, they'll certainly take you deeper than ever before. We began our presentation today with a single image in mind: smiling faces. And we believe there'll be a lot more of them when Wii Sports Resort launches globally next spring. But before we finish today, we want to introduce you to one more experience available this holiday that you'll all be able to play with your current Wii remotes. It's safe to say it will generate a lot of smiles, new smiles, in a whole new way.
All right. I don't remember what this is. Oh god, it's this. Yes, there he is! Yeah, remember this? Like, who even is this person? Like, is he like a real drummer or something? I mean, could have fucking fooled me. Oh, he's not done yet. He's using the fucking Wii balance board for the pedals as well. Oh my god, he's having a seizure. Someone help him. It kind of looked like he was, though.
Please welcome gaming legend Shigeru Miyamoto.
Yeah, Wii Music was a fucking weird game. Like, they were marketing Wii Music as like, oh, you can make your own music, but then you play it and it's like, it's not really. It's kind of like a toy box thing. It doesn't, you can't make like actual music with it. It kind of like procedurally generates music for you, like you don't really control the notes. Also, for some reason, some of the extra... Let me go back there for a second. Like, for some reason, some of the Mii characters in the background in this game look like fucking Muppet characters. Like, you see how they've got that weird, like, massive jaw line, and you see, like, the giant, like, moves there. Like, that's kind of what they look like. You spent a lot of hours playing Wii Music. I remember specifically you could get a dog like instrument and a cat instrument, and basically you put like a cat or a dog suit on, you just make like, you know, cat or dog sounds. It was fucking weird. Oh, by the way, D, if you're still watching this, this is almost done. It's like 10 minutes left, so if you want to, if you're still around, we can do Rogue Heroes shortly. Just wanted to give you a heads up so you can get prepared for that. There's no update for Rogue Heroes, by the way, I checked.
Hello. This year, I would like to introduce you to Wii Music. Bill, please. このゲームはね、Wii の企画を最初立ち上げたときに、Wii スポーツ、それから Wii プレイ、Wii フィットと同時に計画したソフトですね。
This game is one of the titles that we began designing alongside Wii Play, Wii Sports, and Wii Fit when we were first finalizing our plans for Wii.
でリビングでこう家族みんなが年の差も性別も関係なく遊ぶにはやっぱり音楽は欠かせないと思うんですね。
Because if you want something that everyone in the family can enjoy together in the living room, regardless of age or gender, music is a must.
で Wii Music は過去にあるこう一般的な音楽ゲームとは全然違った遊びです。
But Wii Music is a slightly different play experience than you've seen with past music games.
で音楽ゲームは普通はこう画面に出てくる、形や記号にね合わせてこうボタンを押してそれで、評価をしてもらうゲームが多いんですけども。
Now, most music games typically require you to press buttons with precise timing, matching symbols on screen to earn points and compete for the strongest performance.
Wii Music ではこう楽器を弾けない人とか楽譜が読めない人が、音楽を演奏する楽しみをね味わってもらえるように作りました。
But we've designed Wii Music to allow everyone, including people who can't read music and people who can't play real instruments, to experience the joy of performing music.
でこう曲を演奏するのにね、あなたはこう、一生懸命こうガイドを追いかける必要はないんですね。
Now, there's no need to closely follow any musical notes or rhythm guides in order to play these songs.
で自分がこう音を鳴らしたいタイミングでこうその楽器に合わせた身振りをする。それだけで Wii の方が勝手に正しい音を鳴らしてくれます。
All that you have to do is hold the Wii remote and move your hands and your body like you would when playing a real instrument. And the Wii detects that and plays a note for you that matches the song.
でさっきの私の演奏もそうなんですけど、僕はギターは弾くんですけどね、サックスは全く吹けません。
And that's how I was just performing for you. I can play guitar, but I cannot play the sax at all.
でこう僕がしていたのはこう Wii リモートをこう構えてサックスを吹いてる気分でこうボタンを好きなリズムで押してたわけですね。
So I was just holding the Wii remote, pretending like I was playing the sax, and pressing the buttons with a timing of my preference.
で僕はどの音を吹こうかとかね、間違ったらどうしようかとかそういうことを全然心配せずに音楽を楽しみました。
So in this way, I don't have to worry about what do I do if I play the wrong note or if I make a mistake.
さっきこう F0 をイメージしてたんですね。
For those of you who are familiar, this song might sound a little bit familiar. It's from an F-Zero game.
でこのソフトではねこのサックスだけじゃなくて50種類を超えるいろんな楽器がその楽器に合わせた振りで弾けることができるんですね。
In Wii Music, you're going to be able to play over 50 different instruments just by moving your body.
ピアノです。
So, for example, the piano.
Again, you don't really get any control over the notes that you play. It just kind of like randomly picks a note for you. It's weird. Like again, it's more of a toy box thing. Like it doesn't really feel like you can actually make your own music. It's just like the game does it for you.
Just like that.
バイオリンはねちょっと凝ってるんですよ。
And the violin is a slightly more unique instrument. You hold the strings with your left hand, press the buttons to sound the notes. And the bigness of the motion of your right hand adjusts the volume of those notes.
Holy shit, Miyamoto, you need to calm down a little bit. Like, look at how fucking crazy he was swinging his arms
The motion
there.
of your right hand adjusts the volume of those notes.
But look at him go. Look at him go!
Just like this.
ギターはこんな感じです。
Some violent
Of course,
swinging.
guitar, you play like you would a real guitar.
ミュートですね。
You can pluck.
プラスできる。
You strum.
こんな感じです。それから、パーカッションもあります。
There's a variety of percussion instruments as
和太鼓。
well.
What do you call those again? Taiko drums? Yo!
まあこんなねそれからさっき後ろでドラムを捉えてくれたのはプロのドラマーのラビさんなんですけどもね
And of course, behind me here, we have a professional drummer who's been performing for us this morning.
Quote-unquote professional.
His name is Ravi Drums.
Robbie Drums. His second name is actually Drums. Okay.
で彼が今使ってるのはWeFit のバランスウィーボードを使ったね、ドラムのフットペダルのついたフルセットです。シミュレーターです。
What he's playing is a separate mode that uses the Wii balance board to activate the drum pedals, creating a complete drum simulator.
こうレッスンがついてるのでね、本当に誰でも数週間でドラムが叩けるようになるという。
And this mode also includes lessons, which
This man has an Ace Attorney name. He sure fucking does.
means that anybody, even you, can learn to play the drums in just a few weeks.
でラビさん昨日練習しただけでも随分とこう快適に弾きこなしてますけどね。
In fact, Ravi only started practicing just yesterday, and as you can see, he's already gotten quite good.
Quite good, apparently.
さて、覚えておられる方もあると思いますけれども、2年前に僕はここでオーケストラの指揮をしました。
I'm sure some here in the audience this morning remember, but 2 years ago on this stage, I conducted an orchestra.
なんかインターネットではこう下手やとか言われたんですけどね。
Many of you on the internet said I was pretty bad.
Well, this game's like presentation doesn't really change the mind, I don't think.
でこのオーケストラのゲームもね、その他にこうハンドベルのゲームとか、それから音を当てるゲームとかいろんなゲームと一緒に。
Like, it must be kind of weird. Like, earlier today, like, we were watching, like, Iwata talking about, you know, like, expanding the demographic and stuff, and I wasn't really interjecting that much, because I was like, I respect the guy, I don't want to, like, you know, be snarky about what he's saying, but then we get to this Wii music part, and I'm just, like, completely laying it on thick, like, I'm really just going to town on these guys.
この Wii ミュージックの中に入っています。
Like, I'm really upping the snarky level a little bit with this.
And some other modes, like a handbell choir and some note matching games as well.
だからさっきI
mean, I respect Miyamoto as well, but it's more so the game I'm just making fun of, not Miyamoto.
And while I said earlier, Wii Music isn't a game that's going to evaluate your performance. What it will do is record videos of your performances.
でこのモードではなんか一人でこう何役もこなした自分のミュージックビデオを作ることもできます。
And in fact, one player can play and record each individual part in a song and create their own unique music video.
じゃあそれでね、みんなで今日は演奏してみたいと思うんですけどね。
But since we have everyone here this morning, I thought it might be nice if we played a song for you.
6人の編成バンドなんですけど、4人で演奏ができます。
Now the bands have 6 different parts, but you play with up to 4 players simultaneously.
それから今日は特別にダビーさんのドラムも入ってもらいましょう。
And for our special presentation this morning, Ravi will join us on the drums.
じゃあジャムの紹介をしてください。
Joining in the band will be Nintendo of America's Vice President of Corporate Affairs, Ms. Denise Kegler, on the marimba, along with our all-star treehouse horn section.
Yes, this is how they're ending their presentation, by the way, with Wii Music. We only have like 5 minutes left.
Everybody
Also, that is a weird face, like that one right there.
ready?
ですか。僕は何にしようかな。僕はカウベルしか残ってないです。
Looks like all that's left for me is the cowbell.
じゃあ行きますね。
All right. Bring the house down, guys.
Oh god. Like, I'm not a music expert by any means, but I can already hear a lot of the mistiming, and it's like really annoying me. This is... I mean, like, I said it at the top of the stream, it's certainly an experience. We have hit peak cringe when it comes to this sort of stuff, and I hate using the word cringe, but it's probably a more apt descriptor than any other word I can think of right now. He's still in the fucking background. I completely forgot that Robbie Drums was still sitting there, like, you know, contributing. I need to get a freeze frame of them jumping. Yeah, there you go. Don't you forget about me. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Alright, bye Robbie Drums, bye everybody.
What we've tried to do today, as Mr.
Emphasis on the word tried.
Iwata said, is to look forward to a place where gamers are more engaged, more enriched, and even more enthused in their experiences.
Consider the possibilities. Snowboarding on the Wii balance board, yes, without injuring yourself.
I saw another great frame there from her. That frame right there.
Snowboarding on the Wii balance board, yes, without injuring yourself. Using Wii Speak to talk live worldwide with friends as they arrive electronically in your Animal Crossing. Even using the new Wii Motion Plus as a sword to help your boss feel better about himself. There's no question that games can and will engage us in new and more compelling ways. And there is only one place where high-profile games like Guitar Hero, Star Wars, Rayman, Grand Theft Auto, Call of Duty, and Spore can be found right alongside unique franchises like Pokemon, Animal Crossing, and now Wii Sports Resort and Wii Music. Nintendo simply brings more smiles to more faces.
To conclude, let's be honest. From the minute that DS launched, almost from the moment that Wii went on sale, we've all heard the same word, fad. Well, that was never a fact, even if it was a real hope for some people. I'm here today to tell you that fad is no longer operable. It's inevitable when the paradigm shifts, imitation is just around the corner. Consequently, the only way to preserve your advantage is to create new advantages. If you've positively disrupted an entertainment industry so well that both current and new consumers all say, yeah, I like that, then the next challenge is to disrupt your own thinking. The fact is that Mr. Iwata and Mr. Miyamoto have built a company in perpetual pursuit of that one thing, the next advantage. Not just the evolution in look, but the revolution in feel. This week, you'll feel the next steps.
Why did the audio
as
crustify?
Nintendo builds the next advantage to keep you smiling.
Oh, jeez.
Thanks for your attention, and we look forward to seeing you over the next few days.
Again, I didn't do that. That was the video that did that. Right, okay, well that was the presentation. Interesting. Again, they were going for like the more casual audience. Like they had new game announcements like Animal Crossing, GTA Chinatown Wars. Not really much else in terms of like, you know, proper core games. It was more so again just going for the core the casual audience than anything. And holy shit, that fucking Wii Music presentation at the very end. Definitely an experience and a half. Like, I completely forgot. Like, I remember that drummer guy, but I forgot that everybody is just, like, on stage, like, poorly trying to do the Mario song. And that drummer guy, like, what was his name again? Ryan Drummins or something? Just, like, trying to, like, do the percussion in the background as well. It's gloriously awful. It's amazing. It's like, I feel like I've ascended to a new plane of existence after just watching that. Was it a fad? Well, Nintendo hasn't really been pushing the whole Wii thing after the Wii U. Like with the Switch, they've kind of like dialed it back and focused more on like actual video games again. So in a sense, yes, but also no, because it was successful for a while, but it's kind of hard to say, to be honest. But yeah, the Wii U flopped terribly, and they were like, yeah, we need to go back to like a more traditional console, but like make it a hybrid instead. And that seems to be working out pretty well for them with the Switch. But yeah, again, experiencing half this whole thing here, and I forgot what her name was, Cammy something. I didn't catch her full name. This woman right here. I think she only worked at Nintendo America as like a representative of like the sales team or something for like a few years. Like she was not in this company for that long. Compare that to Reggie, who was working there for like at least 15 years, I think. Wait, Reggie was at Nintendo for a long ass time. I'm looking. I'm trying to see if I can find. Like I mentioned earlier, that you could probably pause this anywhere in the video that has her on it, and she'll look like a fucking deranged lunatic. This kind of looks like one of those clips, one of those frames right here. Let's see if I can find any other ones. Oh, that's the intro. Let's see. Anything else? Shrug. Oh yeah, there's Carrot Top. Can't find any specific frames. Oh. Sorry, it just looked like the Cammy turned into a water there for a second. I'm just like fucking around at this point. I'm like going through the timeline just to see if I could find any specific frames. Oh my god. Look at her face. I need to get a zoom in on that 1 sec. How do I do this again? 1 moment, please. I need to figure out how I did this. I think we need to zoom in on this one. If I can figure out how I did that. Here we go. Let's see. Yeah, we need to... There we go. I mean, it's not the most amazing face, but... Oh god, that's even worse. Yeah, there you go. Oh, fucking hell. Yeah, it's just... Again, some of the faces she fucking does, it's just like... I'm terrified. It's like I'm being held hostage or something, like she's gonna kill me if I don't follow her exact directions. Why can't I reset this? There we go. But yeah, no, that face, like, there's the whole pose if you're wanting it, but that fucking face. In fact, you know what? This isn't good enough. We need to stretch it. There we go. That's the moneymaker right there. That's how you do it. Gotta get the big bucks with this one. There you go. In fact, no, we need to... There we go. I think that's all that needs to be said. That's my final thoughts on the 2008 press conference. So I guess in the next couple hours, like after I'm done with Rogue Heroes, we will check out 2009's conference and see if that fares any better.